Hey, Mark Antoine.
Hello, Bentley. Oops.
Hey. Yeah, it'll take me a second to get. May not even work. Of course, if we don't have an agenda, unless you have anything you want to chat about.
Yeah, there's a few, just a little bit of report on recent activities. The the claim miner is being taken offline because some of the latest work is work that Jamie pays for and wants to own. So right now I'm working on separating and making it more modular. So I can have parts of it open sourced and parts of it non-open sourced and blah, blah, blah. I'm
Yeah.
also working on a kind of meta language for argument mapping. So we can have like the debate map model, the society library model, the IBIS model as data specifications. So that's what I'm doing now.
Oh,
Uh,
that's cool.
well, now as in as soon as I'm done
Right.
splitting claim miner,
Yeah, right.
but that's what's keeping me busy now, I should say. So this is what I'm doing these days. Oh, and I'm spending a ridiculous amount of time on spend a lot of time on Postgres 16 migration and getting quite a few things quite a few Postgres things I depend on to work on Postgres 16, which is I don't know if you're into Postgres much, but
Mhm.
I'm
I've used it a
discovering
few times, but I haven't been using it in a while. Most of
the
my stuff is simple enough that I don't need a relational database, so I'm using cloud.
I think are you using Firebase a lot?
Yeah, just for ease of use and quick hacking.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not a good long-term solution, and it doesn't actually do really good message passing. I found out in the last time, so I probably would like to look for something else.
Yeah, I'm definitely pushing Postgres
Mhm.
as much as I can. It's
Although I, I like the idea of being able to self-host or put it on cloud and stuff like that. Is there a good cloud one that also auto scales?
well, there's
That's
certainly
free.
you can use Postgres on Amazon, AWS. I'm sure there's
That's
other services that provide that. Yes, there are.
Yeah, right. So yeah, AWS is relational data store has a I
As
think
opposed,
it falls under their list. Anyways, yeah, they have
which
or at
is
least
not
a
a, what I would do.
compatible one.
The
Yeah.
other option is to have what Stephen is doing is he uses Kubernetes. I don't think he's playing much with Postgres clustering though yet, but it's an option
Yeah, that's the thing. Which is really silly for me to worry about scale because it's not like I'm
yet.
doing anything that's going to be viral. So that is kind of silly. I guess
Well,
the main thing is that like I'm experimenting and playing with things. So for like my 10, or 20 records, paying for a whole server or a fraction of a server, it's just like it's free
you
on all the cloud tiers.
I think a lot of cloud tiers like I think what's the name Ocean something something you can have a small Postgres droplet, right?
Yeah, but it still costs, right?
Isn't there you're allowed one droplet for free or something like that? Is
Maybe.
it, is it not Ocean? What is
I've also found those like micro servers to be
it's very low
very
cost.
performant poor compared to
DigitalOcean. I was speaking
even
about
for something
DigitalOcean.
small. I think I even used DigitalOcean in the past, although it wasn't just for, yeah, it just seemed for yeah, I guess really the free tiers for the cloud proprietary stuff is a good mix of performance and freeness.
I have a server which I pay not that much. I mean, it's not nothing. I'm paying what 860 Canadian a year for a good server. Like a perfectly sizable machine. It's worth it to me because I put so many things on it. And the thing that it allows me is when I say, oh, I'm playing with that Postgres extension and that Postgres extension and that Postgres extension, but you won't get that with most servers.
No, that's true.
And being able to say, oh, I'll install this extension and this extension, that is a privilege. Now, one thing you might consider doing is Supabase. Supabase has not a free layer, but it has a basic layer that's not exorbitant. Oh, they have a free layer. Okay, cool. So that's something you could consider.
Yeah, there was something about Supabase I didn't like. They're basing it off of an older version of Firestore, Firebase.
No. Supabase is Postgres based.
I thought that was the Supabase is an open source Firebase alternative. So there were some features in Firebase that Supabase didn't have, although I'm probably not.
But what I'm saying is it is a full Postgres database and they have a free layer. So
oh yeah. Yeah. Of course, really what I need to do is figuring out what I want, because now I'm thinking I need to separate my messaging system from the database layer, like completely. And I haven't like looked around to see what, I mean, like the feature set I would like, I would like these, like the first thing I'd want is them to be able to save their files locally and reuse them, right? So I don't even need a database. And a lot of the tech, you're kind of, I have to now write an abstraction layer, which isn't that bad, so that you can save to the database or files on the hard drive of the user.
yeah. I've committed to a database, which means I'm not abstracting that much at the database level. I'm trying to abstract the services right now.
Yeah.
So.
And it's some, there's definitely some like feature sets to where there's just no point. And you can't. The feature sets require a central server of some sort, and I think you're there for sure. I'm just making some toy apps. I don't know. I'm also bummed that now React's kind of suggested standard install requires a server, because Next.js is kind of the standard thing, and you can hack it to give just a downloadable set of files. But
I've decided not to go React for reasons. I'm a big web components fan.
Yeah,
it's very agnostic, and you can mix frameworks.
Yeah, I'm definitely not strong on that some people should use React. I mean, if I actually like could use whatever I want, I'd probably use for the front end, I'd probably use Svelte.
Which one? Svelte?
Svelte.
Svelte. Yes,
Svelte.
of course. Svelte is great.
The other one that I'd like to use is Quick. But that definitely requires a server, last I checked.
We're having a front-end conversation.
Hey, Jack. But I'm just staying with React because that's kind of the standard for Miro plugins, and I'm doing that for work. So it's just like I don't want to keep two frameworks in my mental model.
No. It's a good framework. If you're going to have one, it's a good one to choose. It's got so much momentum. And for a while, I thought the churn was ridiculous, but I think that's settled down, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, when they were introducing, yeah. Yeah, it may have slowed down.
It may have. That's a question, actually, I guess.
I mean, it has. I just don't know if that's within the normal variability and it's just we're in a low cycle, right? I guess I'm a little bit more scarred to be hope.
I
I don't want to
stayed
get my
away
hopes
when
up.
I saw the churn. I'm like, oh, no way I'm going to be following something I don't believe in the first place, but
Yeah,
following spending most of my like for big teams, it makes sense. You have somebody in charge of updating components with a moving target.
yeah.
But for a solo developer, it would be a full-time job, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm not a full-time front. I'm a full-time.
We're about
I,
to rewrite, not probably not the exact right word, but we're going to move. We got to move several frameworks, both our CSS, I mean, libraries, React, going to Next, and then the client libraries are going up a major version. So it's kind of a complete rewrite. Um, but that I try to do my best of isolating code without any dependencies. So most of that will move over. Unless, I change my mind on how it works, and then it's a full rewrite. Because if you're in there, what's changing a few interfaces among friends and then everything breaks?
yeah.
It's a
But
bad habit.
my other issue is I find, and that's may have been solved, and I think it has in a way. Like Apollo's great in terms of paging requests, so I guess that's good. But I'm a bit trying to understand what happens when you have a very big query and you want to have part of it, and you need to eject stuff. Like some you need to keep, some you need to eject. I find the notion of ejection with um, the state, the Redux architecture to be a bit hard to understand.
Are you talking about ejecting from the React code?
From the Redux state, really, basically being able to say this is not being displayed anymore. So can I eject it from conditionally reject it or make it into a weak link in the Redux store because I may not use it again and I want to save memory?
Yeah, I'm not using Redux in any of mine.
Oh, interesting. I thought
Uh,
it was mandatory for React.
no, they have the use context and the use states, which are very simple primitives. Um, so if you're doing anything complicated, it's probably useful. Um, our apps luckily have been pretty simple. So I'm also not like doing a lot of, joins and the data and stuff like that. I'm working with one customer's data and I know which board they're on, and that board has context. So it's just one text blob of JSON.
And
So it's
you don't need to page. It all
yeah,
fits in memory.
no.
Yeah, the paging
I
in
can see how
memory
that'd be a problem. Yeah.
is a dog in the front end. Like front end paging is a dog.
Mhm.
I'm with SPAs. I mean, with old style, yeah, sure, it's all done in the back, and the back regenerates whatever is needed. But with SPAs, I find they're not that good.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
I,
quickly.
I went through all the Redux logic in SenseCraft, but we're talking to a REST, not an Apollo server, but a REST server. So there's a bit of I had to do a lot of things by hand.
Yeah.
Joy.
I was trying to look up what week we said was kind of the suggested like.
Yeah, I was going to say I was a bit surprised to see an event today. I think it was the first of the month. I'm all for making it only first of the month. Because at this point, there's no momentum.
I don't even know. That may have been outside of the 90 days that we have search in here. don't know. I can't even remember where to do that. We could just make it that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Monthly on the, oh gosh, to change this, I have to go to a first. So November 1st, change the event. Monthly on first Friday. Save
Good.
all
Let's
of it.
make it that, and let's see if people come more if there's less. And let's call it a day for now.
Yep. Yep. Good to see you.
Ciao, ciao.